What is that flash in front of my face? I don't even know if I can get rid of it. I mean, I wanted some light on the subject, but that is ridiculous. Welcome to Random BS. Hoping this is not too bright. I mean, it's looking ridiculous. Anyway, at some point I will start at the beginning and explain my life, and right now I have other issues basically to talk about, like how annoyed I get at people who are totally disrespectful to other people and could give a crap about humanity except for themselves. So it might sound like it's a negative note to start out on, but for days, because I haven't done a video in 4 days, that's basically what I've been focusing on. Okay, so I do deliveries during the day, well, at night, whatever. And people are ordering a lot of food. It's been really busy. And we have the option to leave the food at their doorstep and just text them if that's what we're going to do, or call them, and they have the same option. So for the past couple of days now, I've been receiving a lot of that. The customer wants you to leave their food at their door. So the customer, of course, puts that in the instructions. So we might not have it at first, but then sometime during the pickup, I'll get a text saying the customer changed their instructions. And then I'll read it, and it says, just drop at my door. Now, some people say please. But, I mean, I'm not your damn slave. I don't know why you would talk to anybody like that. And on top of it, you don't tip. Please have some respect. So, most people tip us. And they tip us nicely. Like, you know, anywhere between 3 and 15, even 20 bucks. Some people tip $1 or $2, and I'm grateful for a tip. Maybe not those 1 cent and 65-cent tips, but I mean, a tip is a tip, right? You cared enough to do that. It's those people some who don't realize that they should tip because no one ever taught them. 2, some people think that the fee on the app is for us, and it's not. It's for the company. The company has to make money too. And all we get from the company is not even pay. We get back the gas that we're using. And then maybe a couple of cents here and there that add up to a few bucks a week for us to maintain our vehicles so that we can get to these people, to bring them the food that they don't want to get themselves, which I don't have a problem with. But if you're not going out to get the food yourself, because of whatever your reason is, you should be courteous to the people who are out there bringing food to you, working basically for free until you give them a tip. So I think my point is, especially now with this virus, we're risking our lives. I mean, to me, it's a paycheck. Or not even a paycheck. I mean, I'm making money. I'm out there. I don't have to sit in the house because I'm on a temporary layoff. I can actually work, and the whole city is wanting food right now. The point is, if this was some kind of other service where I was delivering to people who didn't really have money, who needed something for their kids, or the elderly, or somebody's sick at any age, okay, fine. Who's gonna really get so torn up about a tip? I mean, we should get tipped. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're in this position, whether you're laid off or not, and you can afford to get fast food, you can afford to tip. I mean, it's kind of like that argument that we used to have with people who would say, I'm not tipping my waitress. I don't feel like I have to. And then their argument was that the waitress gets an hourly wage. Well, we don't. So you can't throw that at us. You really need to tip your DoorDash, Grubhub, Amazon, Postmates, and whatever other drivers are out there, Uber Eats. I mean, no, it's the same thing as a waitress, except we don't get paid. We're bringing the food from one place to another. Theirs is from a kitchen in one restaurant to a table in the same restaurant. Ours is from a restaurant all the way to your home. that deserves a tip, maybe even greater than wear and tear on the car that you're not getting on your car, the time it takes, and now, oh my goodness, it takes so much time. Yesterday, I was in probably almost an hour. The delivery was about an hour later than it said it should be on the app, because I went to Popeyes and their dining room was closed. Some of the, like McDonald's and whatever, they're still open on the inside. They're just not letting you dine in. You can come pick up, you can order, otherwise use the drive-thru. You just can't sit in the dining room. And it's the same thing with Jack in the Box, but not for Popeyes and some other places. So I was in the drive-thru forever, because people like to take forever to order their food, because they basically decide when they get there, not beforehand, where they might have a list of something, especially for the whole family. They're just sitting there taking 5-6 minutes to order, which gets annoying when you're working on deliveries, because you're working for tips. So the longer you sit somewhere, the less you're getting paid, right? So Joe, I need to ask you a question, because I turned the flash on because it was kind of dark over here, and I see myself as a shadow, but it's really bright, so I'm not too sure how this is going to look. So can you come over here for a minute, please? I mean, you don't even have to be in the video. You can just, like, pop your head in. Anyway, so I was sitting in the parking lot for almost an hour. I mean, it was ridiculous. And they were parking all of the cars because they couldn't keep up with the drive-thru. But tell me, when you have a dining room open and you have a drive-thru open on a normal day, and you're busy, because I always see Popeyes, all of the Popeyes are always busy, well, how do you keep up then? Maybe they have more people, they have less now. I mean, this is so simple. I worked at Jack in the Box for a while, and I worked from shift leader up to manager, and drive-thru was exciting to me because it was never ending, and the locations I worked at were always busy, so my day went by faster. It was just exciting. It was something to do, and the speed of service was what we focused on at Jack in the Box. You know, get their food out as quick as possible, and we had a time limit, so it was exciting, and we did it quickly. I don't understand what happened yesterday. Like, why is my delivery an hour late? Mind you, I believe that this customer actually also did not tip. You see, I think that's sucky. Like, I'm not only delivering your food for no tip, but I'm waiting there where I could have just said, I'm just tired of this, I'm not taking this, I'm gonna just tell the company that I don't want to sit and wait for this order because I need to make money. I didn't do that. In fact, the day before was another issue. And, like, the whole last week I couldn't work because my starter just decided it was going to take a crap, right? So, it was fixed that day, and I turned off my car at Jack in the Box, and it didn't start back up. And I only turned it off because I didn't want to go through the drive-thru, because I was sitting on the side trying to help an elderly lady who called me. Like, I just dropped off a delivery. I was on my way away from that delivery, driving up toward my neighborhood to get another delivery, and then I did get one, and it was her, and as I was driving up to Jack in the Box, she called me and said that she had, or there was a coupon online, and she pressed for the coupon, and that she's elderly, and she's limited on her income, and that she even ordered more food because there was a $10 limit or minimum, and so her order came out to $10.88, and then it was charging her a $7 delivery charge. But there was a coupon on the website for $7 off, which is what the delivery was going to cost, and they charged it to her, and I guess she immediately, or she got a notification from her bank, so she called me stating that she didn't have the money, and all she has left in her bank now is $10. That was a 40-minute episode, and I mean, I didn't want her to suffer if she is on a limited income. Okay, do you see that? It's ridiculous. Is something going to be wrong? Do I need to start this over? It's okay? Because I put the flash on. I never do that. Are you sure it's fine? Am I going to be like big and bright like the moon or the sun? Okay, thank you. I like your makeup. Yeah, I always like your makeup. Make sure Harley can't get out, please. Okay, so enough on that. That's just was a point that I was making about humanity. And I have a child to take care of, and I don't really need to sit around with that BS. I can go do whatever, but I care about people. For instance, you know how and I'm always eating oranges, and I'm drinking tea today, by the way. I already had an orange. But I'm always complaining that people are crazy with this toilet paper and water, and they're not eating oranges, and they're leaving all the things they actually need for people like us who know that we need to boost our immune system, because if we don't, all the toilet paper won't matter, right? So today, finally, they're getting it right. So like I said in the other videos, Smith's closes. They were 24 hours. Then they were closing at 10 and opening at 8. Then it's like 8 to 8 now. I think they opened an hour earlier for seniors, 7 to 8, and then from 8 to 8. And they finally got it to where I walked in today. I said, let me see, it's been, well, I was home for a week because of my car. We had to order the part and so forth. Anyway, which I now have to do again because it's clanking. So anyway, yesterday I drove around for a good 6 hours doing deliveries, and I didn't turn my car off because I was afraid it wasn't going to start back up. And I did the same thing today. So anyway, tonight, before they closed, I said, oh, let me catch Smith's and see how they're doing. I mean, there's no big deal. They haven't had water and whatever. If they didn't have it, they didn't have it. I think I was just curious. So I went in, and they actually had water at 7-something maybe at night, which was amazing because before it was like they'd get it in, they'd open up at 8, and then their water and toilet paper would be gone by 8:30. So 30 minutes. They actually had my water this time, which we drink Arrowhead, and we also drink Crystal Geyser. So they had several cases, and I only took one. And where for a little while it was the limit of 2 for toilet paper and water and whatever, now it's 4. And I took one, happily. I mean, you know, we have water and whatever. It's not even about maintaining it. It's kind of like I should have more to be stocked and then maintain it, but we'll do that one at a time. So if they have water every day, I'll take a pack every day. Not having to have 4, not having to hoard and not care about other people. Okay, so I'm just getting, I think of all of this that's going on, and I'm getting really tired of how people treat other people. Like leave the order at my door. I mean, I know it wasn't an accident because some people are really kind. They're like, please leave the order at my door. Okay, so, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I don't really want to touch anyone anyway, or some accident happened, or, you know, somebody sneeze in my mouth or my eyeball or my nose or my ear. How would that happen, right? So, yeah, they're just like rude. I mean, and the same thing I've been seeing always. I mean, this is nothing new. It just gets to me more now. I don't know if you guys have felt it. Like I've mentioned the energy in one of my videos, but there's been a download of energy, and for those of you who aren't spiritual and who don't believe in this crap, sorry, but it's true. And this download of energy, like for the past months and months and months, and I couldn't sleep. I had so much energy, and it's a matter of us shifting to the 5th dimension, but I also believe it's a matter of getting all of this energy to be strong enough to go through what we're going through now. COVID-19 that they thought of and how many years ago, and I'm not even going to get into that because I'm probably not the only one, but most people think it was lab made, so, and it's here for population control and yada yada yada, but I'm not going to get into that, not in this video anyway. But when you think about all this, and then you see how rude people are, I mean, you get cut off by cars, people honk at you, like some lady was honking at somebody yesterday. I was sitting at a red light. They were in the left turn lane. I don't know what the person in the car was doing in front of her, and maybe they weren't paying attention, but maybe they were doing something. That sometimes happens. It's happened to me, and people just, like, are obnoxious and don't honk once. They just keep honking until you move the car. And, I mean, I just, like, that actually annoyed me. Because what if that person was doing something important, or what if that person was actually hurt? You just, like, you're being so impatient. I mean, everyone has, I don't know where to go to, especially while this is going on. Like, give people a break. Anyway. Yeah, I'm just really bothered a lot by that. I've really always been bothered by, but accept the fact that some people are arseholes and they're not going to change. It's all about them, and here we are today with this, in hopes that after all of this is over, and it will never be completely over, because life has changed as you know it. It will never go back to the way it was, just so you know. And you're going to have to find a different way to live life. And I'm sitting here thinking how beautiful life could be if people would just take a look at what we're going through right now and kind of turn over a new leaf and decide that they're grateful for a change, and actually sit back because they have the time now to say or think about how their actions affect other people. Because sometimes people don't think about that. It's more like they get pissed off because of what other people do to them, but never take the time to realize what they do to other people. And I'm thinking they will. Moving into the fifth dimension, there can be none of this stuff that's going on. This, I'm pretty sure I mentioned in another video, is spiritual warfare. And we will win. No doubt about it. You know, do you ever ask yourself, because some people are like, yeah, I'm awake now, or I had my awakening. I even had a friend tell me a few years ago that she was an angel, and she knew that, and, you know, who am I to doubt anything? I can't say no, because I don't know, and you can't either, so don't say that's ridiculous for people who don't know things and they talk a lot of crap thinking that they do. But, I always knew, I'm not going to say that it was somebody special. I mean, we're all special, so yes, I am special, but different. And not because we're not the same, we're all the same, only our experiences change the way we experience life, which changes our belief system, and it basically changes who we are, because our belief system rules the ego. The ego actually makes that belief system, because our inner being, who's actually us the soul, not I have a soul, but I am a soul, is always on a high vibration and knows everything. But our egos always tend to get in the way and change us as we evolve. And I forgot why I brought this up, but anyway, I've never been that person, like I've mentioned before, to watch the news, and hyper-reality never affected me in such a way that it does the rest of humanity. Well, not the rest of. But, so I asked myself a few years ago, I'm like, well, she said she was an angel. Yeah, I mean, I kind of believe that. But I said, well, what is my real purpose? Like, why am I here? And, you know, I asked, I mean, over like the same night or two, whatever. And that night I got this answer where, because what they say is that we choose to come back into a new incarnation, and that we choose our families and what our life experience is going to be, because that's how we evolve as spiritual beings, living a human experience. So it wasn't a dream. I don't really know what it was, but it was real. And I was in a place where I felt absolutely just bliss. I mean, unconditional love. It was just white. Like, I felt like I was in a cloud. And then to answer my question, I was picked out of this cloud and put here. Because, I mean, I say to myself, would I actually, like, look down here and, or in my mind, because we're one consciousness, would I just look at all of this and want to be here unless there's a purpose? And I was picked. I was chosen out of whatever that thing is that I was, and I was so content, and then here I am. So that didn't answer what my purpose was, but it answered why or how I got here, which that helped. I mean, my purpose can be like a million different things, because I've been here to be the first of something, to have the first idea of something, or just to be in something that happened for the first time that someone else thought about doing, but I got to experience. Like when we were younger, at that time, you were not allowed to marry somebody of a different color, different race. I don't believe in race, by the way. It was a human race I believe in. So they decided that our schools were going to be split up. So we had to go to the black school, like not a handful, but a certain amount of us. And then a certain amount of black people from the black school had to come to the white school. And I think it was for 2 years. It was like first and second grade. Because our schools were weird. It was like kindergarten, and then 3rd through 5th, I think, was in one school, and then 1st and 2nd grade was in another school. So we did 1st and 2nd grade in, I would not like to say black, but African American school, and then they came to ours. And then it worked out, so they realized at that point that they could actually mix up different colored people and keep them in one school. And at that point, the principal, who was African American from the African American school in Corona, Queens, New York, actually, when we went back to our school, she came to our school with us just because it worked out. So I got to be a part of that. That was very interesting. That was in the 70s, in the early 70s, because I was born in the 60s. Anyway. So that was something new. And like, again, I'm proud to be a part of that, even though it was a bunch of bogus bullcrap, because it shouldn't have had to happen. People should have just been able to live in the same area, go in the same schools, and yada, yada, yada. Because really, when you look back at it, especially, I mean, as a regular person, I would imagine you would look back at it like, I don't know, just accept it because you're a puppet in the Matrix, or maybe have a heart and just say that's awful. But when you're living like up here, it's unfathomable. Like, who would listen to people who would separate people? Like, who are you? Who are people that do that? Who the hell are you? Like, what right do you have to separate people and be puppeteers? Whatever, it's your Matrix. It's not mine. God bless you. Let's see, what else I got to be a part of? We went through a lot at that point in our lives. Then I became a DJ, which was strictly a male thing back in the day. But I learned how to spin in New York. And I came out to Vegas, and I was Vegas's first female DJ. And that was something new. It was no big deal to me, though. I was working. It was something I enjoyed doing. I like to also call myself, as a friend calls himself, the godfather of house music, call myself the godmother of house music, techno, and trance, because I helped to bring it out here to Vegas and was the only female playing it. What else did I do out here that was a first? I opened a delivery service. I took a break from DJing in public for a while and was doing private events, and also opened a delivery service back in the 90s, and I decided that with my delivery service, I should offer to deliver anything that's legal to anybody. And I started to pick up food from fast food places. And the other day, I was looking for some information about deliveries, and I saw somebody put the originator of blah blah blah, and I actually emailed them because I am the originator. So that was another first. So when I sit here and say, what have you, why are you here? We know how you got put here, but why are you here? I don't know, just a bunch of new things I'm either a part of or start, and it's very exciting. So I'd like to say that maybe after this is all over, because I've been writing about all of this kind of spiritual stuff and the Matrix for 20, 30 years, and I say 20, 30 because I started off researching and writing papers on racism and the Matrix and spirituality, all starting over 30 years ago actually, but more so, let's see, 18, 28, 38, 48, 36 years ago, all of this. So this spirituality that everyone's talking about, that they started talking about in 2012, and I believe Abraham Hicks was way before that, even though I had never heard of her. I was already talking about all of this stuff. So it gets me to a place where I feel like once all of this is over, this virus, I mean, it's not going to be over the way most of you puppeteers think it's going to be over. I don't mean to insult you, but most people are puppets in the Matrix, in the slave nation. So for those who are not up here with the spirituality, and they're just kind of down here with the Matrix or religion or any of that stuff, I think that a lot of us are trying to warn you and tell you what's going to happen. This is going to be a new Earth. Some people call it the New World Order, some people just call it New Earth, the fifth dimension, whatever it is. And however you feel about the chosen people are going to be reforming this planet. So I feel like maybe I'm going to be on board with that. Who knows? But with all these firsts, I can imagine that would be another first as well, which would be a beautiful thing. For something like that, yeah, I would choose to be here. But as I said, it didn't seem like I chose to be here. I was just kind of picked out of a cloud, and here I am. And I'm not really saying it's a cloud. It felt like a cloud. It looked like it just felt like bliss. Anyway, I think people should really sit back and think about what we're going through, because I think this is the sixth time that we've pretty much been destroyed, humanity I mean, and having to start over. And it's because, well, take a look at humanity. I mean, humanity just can't seem to get it right. I mean, it's not everyone. It's just horrifying, like the abuse towards animals, the abuse toward women, the abuse towards people of different color. It's really sickening. Like, sit back and think, like, who is either brainwashing you, what are you getting from the media, or who the hell do you think you are? That's a really good question. Like, who are you to put your hands on people? Who are that country who shall be nameless? I don't know if it's the whole continent, but to stick dogs in water and boil them. I mean, I don't know why it's so hard to understand, and people are really shocked when you tell them everything here is consciousness. Your dog is just like us, only in a dog's body. Same thing, consciousness, but in another body. A tree has consciousness. You know, and you're boiling. I mean, what if I boiled your kid? What is wrong with people? These are things that people need to look at. These are things you need to look at. These are things that need to change. These are the reasons why we cannot be those are negative vibrations. So when speaking about consciousness and everything lives, you can hear it in the wind, you can hear it in the grass and the trees. Earth lives. It's consciousness. We live on it. What do? We litter, we spit, we blow up countries. I mean, bombs all over our home, basically. I'm truly disgusted. Like, do you not want to have a place to live? Because I don't really understand why people are the way they are. I don't even understand, and I did so when I was growing up, eat animals, but it's like, hey, let me eat your mom for dinner. Same thing. Who are you? Like, who the hell do you think you are? Also, how many animals do you think are on this planet that you believe you're still eating meat? Because I don't know what you're eating. I mean, I don't eat meat. But when you think about it, there are not enough animals on this planet to continue to fill the shelves with the fake foods in the cans and, you know, with the meats, and to fill the freezers and refrigerators with the animals for all of the stores that we have in all of the cities and countries and continents. Do you really think you're still eating meat? That is a good question. Think about it. Thanks for listening. See you in the next video.